Landlords love isolated, terrified tenants. They kind of get a rent hike and just accept it like a bad sequel to an already terrible movie. They want you to believe that fighting back is futile, that organizing is useless, and that you're lucky to even have a place to live at all. Enter tenant unions, the landlord's worst nightmare. A tenant union is a collective fuck off to landlord exploitation. It's a way for renters to flip the power dynamic because one tenant complaining is an annoyance, but an entire building refusing to pay? That's a crisis. Here's how tenant unions flip the script. 1. Organize renters to negotiate collectively. Instead of getting steamrolled individually, tenants can unite and force landlords to face the whole damn building at once. Imagine trying to evict an entire complex worth of tenants while dodging bad press and legal challenges. It's an expensive headache that landlords don't want. 2. Provide legal and financial resources to tenants facing eviction. Landlords rely on scaring tenants into submission, using eviction threats like cops use parking tickets, constantly and without remorse. Tenant unions arm renters with legal resources, connect them with lawyers, and sometimes even cover legal fees. Suddenly, that eviction notice isn't so scary. 3. Push for legislative changes to protect renters. Tenant unions don't just fight individual landlords, they fight the system that enables them. By lobbying for stronger rent control, stronger eviction protections, and tenant friendly policies, they force cities to put actual laws in place so slumlords can't keep running the same scam. Landlords love to say tenant unions don't work, but history says otherwise. When Chicago landlords started throwing out tenants like yesterday's junk mail, the Autonomous Tenants Union stepped in. They blocked evictions, pressured landlords into making repairs, and forced slumlords to follow the law. Imagine that. Landlords actually being held accountable for their actions. New York's tenant unions weren't just complaining about high rent, they were shutting down landlords. Their organizing efforts led to some of the strongest rent control laws in the US, forcing landlords to justify rent hikes instead of just increasing prices whenever they felt like buying a new yacht. California's landlords spent years pretending like rent control was communism, but tenant unions fought back. The result? Rent caps, anti eviction laws, and some of the strongest tenant protections in the country. Tenant organizing isn't just a city by city fight anymore. The Tenant Union Federation is connecting renters across states, turning isolated tenants into a national war against landlord greed. Landlords hate unions for the same reason bossers hate labor unions. Because they level the playing field. The second tenants start negotiating collectively, landlords lose their biggest weapon: divide and conquer. Because here's the thing: rent isn't high because landlords are struggling. Rent is high because they know they can get away with it. And tenant unions, they make sure that landlords can't get away with it anymore.